Well, I'm joined here by Hans Niemann, who's just broken into 2700 all over again. Hans, when I was doing my research, I was at some point I thought, wow, 2700. I do recollect that Hans had reached there before, and yes, in 2023 you were 2708. So what is
Mhm.
special this time, breaking again into 2700? Do you feel good about it?
Yeah, but I think the path to 2700 was a lot different this time because when I first crossed 2700, I had this sort of insane series of events. I remember I was like 26-33, and I played the round robin in Cuba where I scored 7.5 out of 9, winning the tournament by 2 points. I gained like 23 points there. Then I received a last minute wildcard invitation to Team Siegmund, where I was the lowest seed. I won that tournament, also gaining like 20 more points. And then I went to Bundesliga, again 5 points. Then I played in uh, Prague, where I gained 10 points. Before that, I played Sharjah, where I gained 6 points. And then I remember I went from like 26-33 to 26-95, just because I played all these really strong tournaments. And this time it was a bit of a different journey because I was around 27-10, as you mentioned, last year. But then I was so bored of not getting any invitations. I think I didn't play chess for 4 months.
Hmm.
And I was so bored that I just went and played the worst tournaments ever, especially, playing in the Asia and the ex-Soviet Union is especially dangerous. And I think again in 1 month, I went from 27 or a month and a half, 27-10 to 26-46. So, building back up from there was quite a struggle, just all really in open tournaments, a couple closed ones. I was always gaining rating in the strong tournaments like US Championships or Grand Swiss, and then I'd lose the rating. So yeah, this time it was a bit up and down, but I feel like every tournament where I'm playing like a strong average rating, I'm always gaining rating. So it's nice to be back, and I think it's because some people said I would never get back. So that is what makes me the happiest,
Yeah,
and I hope to continue farther. Yeah.
actually, 2700 playing open events is not easy. And we also saw Arvind Chidambaram from India, whom you played against,
Yes.
also broke into 2700. And
Hmm.
also, one more case of someone playing open tournaments and doing crazily well is Arjun, who has reached
Yes.
2775, close to
Yes.
that.
Yes. No, Arjun is a phenomenon. I would be really, really scared with his rating playing all these tournaments, and but his style, he does quite well. But yeah, no, I think even in one tournament in Dubai, for the first 3 rounds, I played like 324 50s and I drew all 3 games. And then suddenly I started playing 2600s and I just would win easily. It was so funny. I couldn't understand what was happening
Hmm.
because I looked at my win rate against 2580 to 2650. It was absolutely insane. At some point, I won like maybe 6 or 7 games in a row against like 2600s. But then whenever I would play these lower rateds, it was just very, very difficult. So I think we have some weird, even if you look at the top 100, there's serious rating deflation. Like to get in the top 100, it used to be around 2650. Now it's about like 2640, which might sound small, but it's actually a big difference. So I think that even if you go to, for example, Dubai, if you take out Arvind, out of the top 10 players, they lost around 100 points altogether. So, and also if you look at Sharjah, there's a very similar phenomenon. So I think that it's good, but obviously I like these leagues, because in French league I was playing a 2600 player every game, and I think that when your opponent is playing for a win, it makes it so much easier. But when your opponent is just like
Hmm.
like a porcupine, like they're like a porcupine. If you try to touch them, you'll get hurt, and they're just waiting. So it's a lot easier when there's a bit of aggression and ambition because
Hmm.
then because usually once you get a bit of an advantage, lower rated players become a lot worse. But many players in decent positions, it's hard to distinguish them between top players.
Right. And you managed to do this in the French league for your team. We want to see couple of games from there
Yes,
because the
yes,
games were crazy. But before that, I want to
yeah,
get your thoughts on a few of the things that are going to come up in your next few days or months. And one of them
yes.
is this very exciting match that we are all looking forward to, which is you versus Vidit. This is
Mhm.
happening on the 23rd of June, right?
22nd, 22nd, 22nd.
22nd of June.
Yes.
And what is your feeling about it? Because it's like a very it's a blitz kind of a format, right? You play
Mhm.
3 minutes, then 2 minutes, then 1 minute, something like that.
Yes, I believe so. So the format's really, really interesting and new. And I think the best part about it is, first of all, in chess, sponsorship is very difficult. And the tournament is sort of, and everything is sponsored by Amari Cooper. And he's one of the best American football players.
Mm.
And it's really great to have sponsorship from that like sector, because usually chess, the sponsors are quite boring. It's nice to have such an interesting, not boring, but it's a new sponsor, and I think that if I think so many people really like chess, and you see all these celebrities talk about chess. Like Roger Federer was giving a speech, and he said, "Now that I'm retired, I play chess on my phone." And I think that if we can bring these celebrities, and you can bring chess to mainstream like culture, then I think a lot more money can be brought into the game. So it's great to have that sponsor, and I think also me and Vidit will have like a press conference,
Mm.
which I think will be quite interesting. Um, and
Why would
also,
you say the press conference would be interesting? Like generally
well, because
press.
I don't think it will be a boring press conference. Let's just say
Mm.
I don't think it'll be boring. Uh, I think it'll be quite interesting. And then also you have a lot of celebrities who are interested in chess who are playing a match in all these games, and then you have it in a stadium, which is quite new. You guys did something similar, but I think that chess needs to move forward and to become something that anyone can watch. And I think this is a great step forward, and hopefully more matches like this you'll be organized in the future. As I mentioned to you before we started recording, um, I believe that if everything goes well, in August, I should play 4 matches in Amsterdam, London, Sharjah, which is near Dubai, and Paris. And I expect to play some very strong opponents. Okay, I will not mention my opponents until everything is confirmed, but every opponent is in the top 100. Some people might be, in the above 2,700. So and it'll be a very unique format. So I think that if you could be creative with getting sponsorship, then you can really have the freedom to organize whatever events you want.
Right.
So yeah, I think it's a sign that chess should change, and then I think a lot more money and fans can come.
You are actually taking it in your own hands to do this. You're not waiting for someone to organize something for you.
Yeah, well, also, my situation with regards to the invitations that I'm receiving, they come quite infrequently. So I believe that I should create my own opportunities. I shouldn't make excuses. And if I can be lucky enough to have sponsorship to organize these matches, then even I would put my own money into these matches.
Mm.
For me, my priority is not to get some big sponsor to play a match to make money. My priority is to sort of prove my chess strength. So hopefully, I think in the next week or two, those details will be finalized, and hopefully, I can announce 4 major matches. And
Wow.
so,
That will be
and
exciting.
obviously, yes, I think that that's really is the future of chess, because if you look at like UFC, or if you look at sports that are one on one, every single major sport, it's all knockouts. It's all one on one. If you look at tennis, they have a unified system. If you look at, for example, fighting like wrestling or UFC or boxing, it's all about, two big names, and they use their names and platforms to promote a fight, and then people buy the fight. And I think that the sort of UFC boxing style format for chess can do really, really well,
Mm.
because you have so many chess fans. But you really need a unique format to bring those chess fans together. And that's why the cities that I've chosen are really big chess cities. Okay, maybe Sharjah is not as developed yet as Paris, but there's still a lot of people who come. I expect in all matches to have many spectators, and I think that way, once if it's fun to watch, people will come. And the traditional classical format, that 9 days long, it's hard for people to get invested in it. It's hard for someone. I don't think someone's going to go there for 9 days in a row to sit there for 4 hours. Maybe. So I think something like this, you have to really make it interesting. So that's what I'm trying to do.
If you
And
did it in India, who
yes,
would you like to play against from India?
I don't know. I think the person who would probably like to play is Erigaisi because he loves to play. So I think it would be quite easy. I think some of the other players, they have all these managers, and they might be, it's a bit harder to get to them, but nothing against them. Just I feel like certain players might be harder to arrange it with. But I would play anyone really. I think there's so many strong Indian players. I would love to play against any of them, and I would do my best to secure whatever prize fund I could to attract them. So I think a match with India would be big. My personal goal would be to have this as a global series of where even once a month in a different city of the world, I play a match against a strong player. Because I think that way it's very easy to secure sponsorship because you can show, the live streaming, you can have all these different types of sponsors, you can sell tickets to people, even at a very cheap price if you have a huge venue. So there's so many ways to recoup the money from a prize fund. So that's my goal and my dream. And that way I don't have to rely on invitations, or I don't have to play these tournaments where I play an open tournament and maybe I win $2,000. It's like, not that that's not a lot, but I mean, that's my goal. So I hope that these first four events go well.
Okay, very interesting. And talking about invitations, recently you did get this invitation from Vadim
Yes.
Rosenstein, which was a crazy idea on Twitter, it felt. But it all seems to be coming together. Each player chips in $1 million, and then the first
Yes.
place gets $2 million, second place gets one and half, third place gets 400,000, and the fourth place gets nothing. And
Yes, that's the best part.
what you wrote recently on Twitter is that you actually will be playing this 1 million buy-in high roller tournaments. All funds have been secured, which is very, very interesting. If you could tell us more about it.
Yeah, so actually, when he posted the initial invitation, I sent him a message and said, like, "Are you serious?" And then he said, "Okay, I'm serious." We had a call and we discussed, and I realized, okay, it could be possible. Then I obviously replied to the tweet saying, "Will anyone sponsor me?" And okay, I was very lucky that someone reached out to me, and we arranged a deal for where I would participate.
Wow.
So once I was able to secure the funds,
This is
I
not
thought,
to
okay, let's.
be revealed, yeah? The sponsor cannot be
No,
revealed
yeah,
yet.
the sponsor that'll remain private.
Okay.
But anyways, the contracts have been signed, and all the um, all of the funds must be transferred 1 month before the tournament to ensure that it happens. So I think, from my impression at least, I have no concerns about my end, and and Fabi has said himself that he has secured his funds as well. And from my impression, the other two players have. So I think that it will be a
Nodirbek and
historic
Nepo.
event.
So it's
Yes,
Nodirbek, Nepo, Fabi, and yourself.
correct. Yes. So from my impression, everything has been secured, and I think that it will be hosted at a very prestigious venue. There's a possibility that it will be hosted at a large sports stadium, um, but it'll be in Dusseldorf. So I think it'll be quite a major event, a historic event. And I think that it would be quite funny if the total prize fund was larger than the Ding Gukesh match, because they do conflict. So I think that it would be a bit of awkward for FIDE if we are playing for 4 million and they're playing for 2. So I think that I think Gukesh should be very happy. because it puts a lot of pressure on FIDE to raise the prize fund. Otherwise, they will look.
But this is just for a day,
uh,
like this
just one day,
tournament, and
yes.
also few
Yes,
hours,
it's
if I'm not mistaken.
yeah, so it's all in one day, 6 games of 15 plus 0. So you would presume it would last perhaps around 4 hours because you have some breaks during the game. So 4 hours, 4 million.
But
It's quite
Hans, don't you feel that this is very risky? Also considering that the other three players are all higher rated than you. Like, what's your thought process here?
I think that considering my experience online without increment, I think the increment really changes things. Because, and for example, in 3-0 Blitz, I've played against many top players, including Ibrahim, including Wesley, and I have scored well against them. Additionally, I have a lot more experience than them in terms of this without the increment. And about 2 years ago, there was the Rapid Chess Championship on chess.com when I was a much worse player than I am now. And the Rapid Chess Championship was like you play 10 plus 0, 9 games Swiss. And the top 8 players qualify to a knockout. And I think when I was taking it seriously, I qualified to this knockout 3 times in a row in 10 plus 0. And I actually went on to win this tournament. I beat Hikaru, I beat Sevian, I beat Zhang, all in a knockout. So I think that without increment, my youth and experience will give me an advantage. Of course, they are more established players. But I think that I've had in the past 2 years, obviously, I've experienced many stressful things, things that I think that would exceed the stress of playing chess for so much money. So I think that will have an advantage in terms of mental fortitude and being able to handle all this pressure, because the situations that I've been in over the past 2 years have been very stressful, and I think most people would have quit chess in my position. So I think that with very serious training, having good nerves and being in good shape, I don't see myself as an underdog, because really it's only 6 games. It's even I asked for it to be more games because it's really not enough. So I think that it really anything can happen. So, and for me, I view this as an opportunity to show my best chess, and we'll see what happens. But of course, if you look at my FIDE rating, I'm okay, like 60 points below them on average. But I don't think that means much in this format, because without increment, everything really changes. It's not the same
I
game.
think winning $1 million or losing $1 million in 4 hours is just insane.
Yes.
Like maybe never happened before in chess. So we will all be on the edge of our seats following that tournament.
Yes, and I think that I'll be able to handle that well, because I think that when you experience difficult things, it makes you stronger as a person. So really, nothing really affects me anymore. I've become a lot more calm actually and unaffected by wins and losses. So I think a lot of the other players really, when they sit down and they haven't experienced the stress before, I think the nerves could play a very big factor. I really think that when you have no increment, it's all nerves and your form on that day. So of course there's a lot of luck involved, in my opinion. And also I think that if one player loses a game, then I think that they will just completely collapse.
Right.
At least from my experience, if imagine you lose a game and you see the money disappearing, I it really takes a lot of mental fortitude to not lose your mind.
Right.
So that's my opinion.
Well, we'll wait for that one in November. And also, as you mentioned, there's something interesting that's come up. That is your website, gmhans.com. And when I was browsing through it, I saw that you've actually started very interesting things inside it, like travel
Yes.
series, game analysis, chess and education, finance and structure, personal career. And when I clicked on travel series, it came up like a series, like you have one episode on Croatia, one episode on Tunisia,
Yes. I
India is
have
also
India
there.
also. Yes,
Yes.
yes, yes. No, so I really, and the best part about this is that there's actually so much stuff that hasn't been released yet. So after every month or maybe a couple of weeks, new content will release. Because if you're paying $6 a month for a subscription, you should get something new, you know? So
Yeah, I was seeing
basically,
this. This is the
yes,
kind of model that they can do premium membership and they can do a
yes,
yearly membership.
yes.
So
Yes, and
this
there's also a
is
lot of free stuff for people to watch. I understand. I didn't want to just make something that only people can pay for. I wanted to help people and also have free stuff. And the main point of this website is that it's just a way for me, I think, to support the chess community, to give my unique expertise, because I have a very unique approach. Like all these top players you see now, from the age of 8, they had all the best coaches, all this, blah, blah, blah. And I had my own path. So I think I have a unique expertise in improving through like at least my method of just, but anyways. So I also intend to make many videos like about the content creators. I think maybe I'll make a video about you saying how you could have become a grandmaster, and maybe I'll analyze some of your games.
you are
I also
already
wanted,
doing that on Twitter for Levy. Or every
yes,
time
yes,
you are
exactly.
writing
So
down what he should do.
yes, I will make a series. I'll put Levy. I will do the Bota sisters. I will even do Semi. I'm doing a stream with Semi very soon. So I will put a video analyzing Semi's games, saying how he should improve. And then I will say that also people around Semi's rating, they can look at that and see how to improve themselves. So for me, it's just, and also all the money that I would make from this, I would basically invest into my chess career, into these matches and all these things. So for me, like getting sponsorship is a bit difficult. Like usually the American players, they're sponsored by the St. Louis Chess Club or certain things. And because I have perhaps a controversial reputation, it's a bit difficult. So this is just, for me, I felt like instead of taking certain sponsors, like I was offered a lot of money to promote gambling or cryptocurrency, and I don't want to promote these types of things to my viewers. So I thought, okay, if I have to research every company that offers me money, I'm worried there'll be some problem with it. So I prefer to have my own brand, and to basically make it my entire brand and to promote it myself. And I know that it will have a positive impact. So because other people, like when they have a lot of followers, the quickest way to make money is to promote gambling or alcohol or these things, So I prefer not. Like, for example, I can tell you that back like 3 years ago, I was offered to promote a cryptocurrency, and they offered me like $300,000 per year. And it felt a bit wrong, because some of these cryptocurrencies can be quite sketchy, because people like sell it all and then everyone loses their money. And anyways, but so that's why I'm doing the website. So I wanted to make it cheap as well, just $6 per month. Okay, maybe I don't know. Maybe I should have a discount for Indians.
Yes, maybe.
But or people, because I didn't want to make it so expensive that people can't do it. But anyways, there's also free stuff, and the free stuff will keep on being released. So that's the main reason I'm doing it, and I've had good feedback so far. So
My
anyways, yes,
my
and all
one
just
question here. Yeah, please go
yes.
on.
No, just also my website. I'll be sponsoring a team in this World Rapid and Bliss Championship.
Oh,
There's this team championship. So I'll be sponsoring a team, and I'll be naming it gmhans.com, and
really?
everyone will be wearing my logo. I have a very strong team, by the way.
Who
So
is
we'll be fighting
playing?
for first. So the team,
Will you play in the team?
yes, of course,
Okay.
I'm playing. So the team, we have four like grandmasters, one woman and one amateur. So I was about to register my team, then one player dropped out. But the current team is me, Amin Tabatabai, who like is getting a lot of ring 27-20, and then Daniel Darda, who's a young talented player. And before we had another young talented player, Bardia Danishvar from Iran, who just won Sharjah. He had to drop out because of some visa issues, but I'll find another strong player. Then the women's board, we have Nurkil Salimova, who is in the candidates and almost won the World Cup. And then on the amateur board, this is the best part. So they have to never have crossed 2,000 FIDE. Now, my amateur board is rated 1,800, and he has played one tournament in the last 5 years. The last tournament he played, he gained 160 points. Now, I'll ask you to guess what his chess.com plus rating is with 1,800 FIDE. I'll have you guess.
I think the way you're saying it, it looks like around 2,400.
No, 2,700. This is
What?
peak.
Who is that person?
So he is like a streamer, and he's a YouTuber in Arabic, and he
Ah,
basically never plays over the board because it's hard for him. He's from Syria. There aren't that many tournaments, and online he has played like 10,000 games. He's like ranging from 20 to 50 27. So we'll have him on the amateur board. We'll win every game. It's an automatic win. And then we have a women's board who's also very strong. And then we have me and Amin, above 2,700 and some talented young guys. I think we'll be fighting for first place.
well,
So this will be the
this
GMHans.com team.
WR team versus GM Hans team might be a good
Yes,
matchup. Yeah, because I think
exactly.
that's also a
The
tough
amateur
team.
is big.
Yes, the amateur board.
Yes. So, and the women's board also. So anything can happen on the amateur and the women's board. And then we have to fight. Because honestly, I think that this WR team, I think they're spending more on the team than the first prize.
Mm.
To get all these people, so I think it will be very good, and I'm looking forward to seeing all my teammates wearing my logo. Even on the shirt, we'll put a QR code, and if you scan the QR code, it will take you to the website. So we'll
Nice.
have some high tech
It's
promotion.
it's like when
You know,
I nowadays the cameras when you take a picture have this sensor, yeah. So
Mhm.
if the QR code comes, there's a link that comes directly on it. So I hope
Yes,
the photographers will have it
yes. Well,
easy.
it'll be a huge QR code. All photos they will to go to the website. So I am doing all the promotional
Mm.
promotional stuff.
I have one question, Hans. The website which you made is very good quality. Like I tried to browse it.
Mhm.
You are doing these matches that you are playing. You're playing in tournaments which have and you are improving your rating. You've gone about 2,700. People are unable to manage one thing. Here you are doing multiple things. You are creating content. You are on social media. You are doing all of this. How are you able to manage so many things?
Well, I think that everything that happened in 2022, I think it made me very strong, made me really stronger. Like it built my character up a lot. And I think that after something like that happens to you, either it destroys you or it builds your character and your motivation to a level that can never be touched again. So I think that although it's been very difficult for me to manage all these things, for me, I just uh, don't see the alternative to winning and to improving and to doing all these things. So um, I also now have a manager who's working for me, which helps me with a lot of these things. So for me, I just don't make excuses. I'm totally focused on chess and all these things. So I don't like to waste time. So for me, when it comes to chess, I just make it happen. I try to make it happen. Even these 4 matches I'm organizing, I think I arranged it all in like 2 days.
Wow.
And I think I was calling all the players. I was finding the venues. I was raising the prize money. I think in the span of like one day, I was like, okay, four places done. I secured 3 venues. I secured the prize fund, and I secured the players. So now I just have to finalize some logistical details, and it will be done. So for me, I think I've learned a lot, and I've improved a lot as a person, and my character has improved. So I've because before I was just thinking, let me just study chess 12 hours a day, and I'll play what I play. But now I realize that if I don't take things into my own hands, then things will work a lot slower, and I won't be able to achieve the things I want to achieve.
Very interesting. Very interesting because some of the things which you are doing, I've been trying to do on my own as well, and I know how tough they are. So, really kudos to you for being able to pull this off. Um, let's go to a couple of games that we want to see from
Sure.
your
Yes.
um, recent French league. This was the first round game between you and
Hmm.
Marcus Rager, a very strong player
Yes.
who's now 2601, but at some point was about 2700.
He's very, very strong player, and with White, he's even stronger. He's so solid. I was really struggling to find a game where he lost, and I actually came into this game so sick. 2 days before the tournament, I wanted to drop out, but it was a league and they didn't have any replacements. So if I dropped out, it really would have destroyed the team. I think I would have been replaced by 2,300.
Hmm.
So it's really, I sort of went to the tournament, tried to recover, and actually during this game, my throat was so dry that drinking water was painful. It was really, really just also a funny story that I can tell about France before we go into the game. So before the game, I go to the hospital, and I get some prescriptions for my throat. They give me a bunch of stuff, and I say, okay, like, where's the pharmacy? And they say, oh, we cannot tell you the address of the pharmacy because there have been so many robberies. So you must go to the police station, show this form, show your ID, and then they'll give you the address. So finally, I go to the police station. Then I go to the pharmacy, and the guy at the pharmacy is so scared of being robbed. So you know that they have, when you close a shop, you see these like chains, like these things that protect the shop. Those are closed, and I see him. He opens the chains, and then he opens the door. And as soon as I walk in, he locks like 3 different doors, so nobody comes in and tries to steal anything. And it was, to me, it was so funny that in France, which I would assume should be very safe, you have to go to the police station to get the address of the pharmacy. And once you go to the pharmacy, the guy is like so afraid. So just a funny experience I had in France, which
Wow.
surprised me. And
Very
okay,
interesting.
eventually, yes. And then they didn't really speak much English at the hospital. So they gave me these 4 pills. And I would take them, all of them every day. And I didn't know which one helped. So I would just just take them all and hope that one works. But anyways, okay, we can go to the game.
Right.
Uh,
Okay. So you are playing Ragger, also not in good health,
yes.
and you play the Queen's Gambit. He goes for the Catalan
Yes.
check, and this is well-known theory. Castles,
So I
knight.
was trying to play for a win with this. You can just continue. I will tell you.
Yeah.
I've played this line many times with a5, a4,
Mm.
and I actually prepared this against in the game. And you can just look at the critical moment after you play knight takes d7. So here you can see I prepared queen b6, knight d7, and after knight d7, I prepared knight h7.
Ah, you
But bishop
prepared
h7
this.
is such a terrible move. And this is, you could see my early, hallucinations. And after this, it's just so bad.
Why is
And
this
then
so
the
bad as compared to taking the knight?
because the point is that once he goes c5, I need to play b6. So when I play knight takes d7, he plays c5. I go queen a6. Let's say knight c3, b6. I can take back with a knight, and everything is okay. But once my bishop is on d7, playing b6 is so much harder. And now after knight c3 to play, I had to go. I think bishop d. Yeah, I had
Now
to go
you
bishop
can't do
d8.
this because of
Yes, because
take, and this pawn is
and
hanging, right?
a4 is hanging. So already I'm just much worse out of the opening. And okay, I go rook c8 to go now bishop d8 to play b6. He goes bishop f4, and I go bishop d8. And now after b3, you can just see the insane hallucination. So I play a takes b3,
Yeah.
and I don't even consider taking back with a pawn. Like, I did not even consider it. When he played a takes b3, I had a complete heart attack. Like, I was so tired and so sick. This entire tournament, I could not calculate
But
any
in a way, it's
variations.
good for you, right? Like, because take, you got 2 rooks for the queen.
Yeah, but now my rook is trapped. This is not so good.
Ah, the rook
But
is trapped.
considering my reputation, also I do quite well without queens. And now I realized, oh no, my queen is trapped. So I tried to get some counterplay. I go knight e4. He goes bishop c1. I think now I went bishop f6. Yeah, he goes bishop b2. Also a complete shock, rook a2. And then I think queen b1. He takes.
So now
I
you
go
you
bishop.
are basically a rook and a bishop for a queen.
Yes, and I'm so passive too. He is very easy ways to improve. But this is where I start fighting. This is where my survival instincts come into play.
Do
And
you
this is
think
where the
also
tricky.
also you become better at defending worse positions, or this was a skill you always had?
Well, it's a bit funny that I remember at one point I had some. Kazimjana was my second during the Singfield Cup. And I remember during our initial sessions, he used to say to me, you're very good at defending because you get so many bad positions. And he said to me that many top players are worse defenders because they don't get that many bad positions. So he told me that it's actually a good thing that I'm such a unique player because I have so much experience in terrible positions. He said this is your biggest strength.
Very interesting.
And so I
You
think I have
practice it
a.
often, yeah? This.
Yes, but I prefer to not practice it that often. I prefer to be a normal player, but sometimes bad positions choose you, and you don't choose them. You know, it's in life. Sometimes things choose you, and there's nothing you can do. So yeah. So basically, yeah, knight f6. Now, once he played g4, I started to feel the potential.
Mm.
Let me just open my window. It's getting so hot. Sorry, one second.
Okay. So this one looks so terrible right now for black because completely cramped for space. White is planning h4 g5, gaining even more space. So at this point, I'm sure that what Hans is feeling right now, which is kind of suffocated, is what you were feeling in the game as well. Suddenly your voice went off. Yeah.
Sorry. So the issue with my throat is that like usually when you drink water, you feel hydrated. When I drink water, nothing happened. So basically, I would feel absolutely no saliva in my throat. So I would drink like 3 liters of water, and it would change nothing. So it was really quite miserable, and I was coughing as well. But anyways, I recovered, and at the end of but during the whole tournament, like first, it's funny that when I was winning all these games, I couldn't believe it because I was so sick. I was really just in shock. Like when I started the tournament with 3 wins, I was thinking that it's a complete miracle. I went to the church to start praying. I said, please, thank you for this. It's funny that Chart, the only thing they're famous for is their very beautiful church. And they have these like, they would put these, have a projector to put like a show on the church. It was very beautiful. Anyways, okay, we can move on.
So rook a1, and
Yes.
he went knight d6, and here you took the pawn.
Yes.
And can he just take this bishop?
Now the bishop takes h4, and I'm getting a lot.
This is very surprising. Yeah, you have a rook for a queen in this position.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, we
but
read
I'm the one
something
playing.
similar, right? In the game, we read
Yes.
something similar.
Yes.
c3.
Yes. Well, this is a very strong move. But yeah, rook e8 is what he missed. This is actually because you of course assume that because if I go, let's say rook b1,
Yeah.
now he can play queen g3, and if knight comes back to f6, he plays knight takes e8, knight takes e8, queen b8, and he wins the full piece without much counterplay.
Right.
So this way, I go rook a8. And now if he goes queen g3, I come back to f6. So he has to take this bishop.
So he went ahead and took it. And now
yes.
you took on h4.
Yes.
And he went.
No, I'm feeling good. And time pressure is coming. And I'm feeling, I start to feel some deja vu of my all my greatest swindles.
Okay, what is happening if I just save the knight, like knight d6? Is it like too risky, or?
I think bishop takes f2, and
King.
then I go rook maybe f5 just to consolidate.
So you'll just play normally.
Yeah, just normally. Yeah, it's very with time pressure. It's very scary. And like a big thing in chess is momentum. So he is already he has his his mindset is already shifted because now it looks scary, and he doesn't have a clear way to proceed.
Right.
And before he is just the entire game he was dominating. So it's very difficult to handle this shift of momentum from a psychological perspective. So from my experience, mistakes, they come all in a row. So, okay.
Queen h3. You took on f2 here and f5. So now you are really have solidified yourself because the knight cannot be kicked away. The knight protects the bishop. Even knight.
And now I have forced, but here the whole point is he had to play queen h5. So after all these tricks and everything, I finally forced an only move. And that's all you need. You just need one only move. And okay, but bishop takes d4. It's not that obvious. Like to play queen h5 and all bishop takes d4 is not some basic thing. It's very very easy. So nice and 7. Momentum is shifting. I'm it's things are going in my direction. Rook c8, knight e6, rook e8. And even here, e4 is not
I
such an
can't
easy
believe
move.
that
Yeah.
the evaluation of this position is equal. Like
Yes, yes,
it's not at all easy to understand this.
yes. Well, I'm a tricky guy. Yeah, if you keep fighting, good things happen. So now bishop e2, also an only move. For example, let's say he goes bishop d3. I go rec f4, and I think it's just game over.
Because
So,
this is
so
loose and this is
yeah,
coming in. So
knight e3 rec h4. Yeah,
takes
yeah. And
takes.
here, yeah, rook e4. Yeah, and it's funny that he went, I think, queen g6 or no, yeah. So I took on d4. He plays queen d6. And here, this was amazing psychology. So I give a check. I repeat, and I'm just provoking him
But
because, of course, I
now
see.
there is 20 minutes on the clock as well. He's got additional 30 minutes.
Yes, but the thing is, I understand the only way I win is if he goes to g4. So I go to e2, hoping he goes to f3. Now I go to e3, and now again, an only move. He has to go king g2.
Right.
This is just chess is, a game of basic mathematics. You just put your opponents in only move situations, and statistically, they will, if you ask Kramnik, he's, as we know, the best at statistics. He will tell you that just only moves, and you eventually, you'll win. So
You
he
had
went to
already
g4,
seen
and
that king g4 loses.
yes, I understood immediately that the game was over because the king is stuck. I calculated all of this because, okay, he gives a check. I go to h7. Now I give the h5 check. He cannot take because of rook e4. He gets to go to d4. Now I go d4. Yeah. So, and now after king f4, d4, the king is stuck. And now I literally push my pawn to h2. I go bishop e5, and the bishop on e5 covers the c7 pawn. So there's no counterplay. It's very simple. I just push, it's game over. And my d pawn is also running. So two pawns, bishop, rook, are connecting. King is completely protected. I immediately understood after king g4 the game was over.
Do you see, like, is there no way that white can try and create some play with, but there's not much.
If you go to f7, I had on g8, and my rook is protected. I literally push the pawn to h2, which you cannot stop, or take the pawn on h2 because I have a check. Then once the queen becomes passive, I have bishop e5, rook g3, rook g1. The king is terribly placed. Additionally, I have the d pawn, while the c pawn controls everything. It's simply too slow. So there are no, there are no perpetuals at all. So now h4, h3, and h2 is the last critical move because if bishop e5, queen e5, h1.
So here,
and then
you mean?
So let's say h2, c7.
Yeah, this happened. Yeah.
Yeah, bishop e5, queen e5. I play h8 queen, and okay, if queen takes e5, h8 queen, queen takes e3. I just take c8, e2. I'm queening. So.
And this wins.
Yeah. So then once he goes passive, it's just game over. Yeah, f6, f7 looks a bit scary, but bishop d6, everything's protected. I have two pawns. And the king is terrible. It's just, I go d2, then I go d1, h1, rook h6, check, game over. My bishop, controls both queening squares.
Wow.
It's perfectly coordinated.
What a game, yeah. Like this one was just crazy game. I'm sure your team members were very happy when this happened.
Yes, I think we actually I don't know, I think we might have drawn the match because of this. This was one of the strongest teams. They actually won the league, this team.
Wow. Amazing.
So yes. But this is not the craziest swindle. Okay, this is a bit crazier. But
let's go to this one. This game, I can't believe what happened as well because I went through it before our stream and I want to understand your psychology. Again, you're playing a very strong player from Romania, Lupulescu.
Yes. It's funny that when I played Rager and Lupulescu, I was so upset because they both lost like 60 points. I remember them being at least 2650. Yes. So I was it's difficult. These are very, very strong and experienced players, so should not mess around.
Are you inspired by Fischer to play the King's Indian or?
Yeah, I think that with the King's Indian, if your opponent is not taking on e5 and going for the endgame, it's a great way to fight. As you can see, this a5 is a very interesting idea. It's been played a couple times, but he played the best moves. Especially after bishop h6, knight f6, h3 is extremely precise. Knight f6,
Yeah.
h3. Because if castles, then I play g5, knight h5, and I get this dark squared bishop and some nice positional play here. So h3 is extremely precise. Then I had this idea to play knight a6, and he played g4, which was a complete shock. Then e5, which is quite normal. d5 he has to play, knight c5, knight d2. And okay, usually you have these positions, but the bishop is on e3.
Right.
Here he has to spend an extra tempo going to f3, bishop f2. So I played c6. Yeah, queen c2 is a mistake. He should go just b3 to sort of go for b4 immediately, because the issue with queen c2 is that when you go b3, a3, b4, you have to waste another tempo to move the rook, or to castle.
Right.
So this was fine. I went a4, rook b1, well, queen a5, and now I put my queen after b4, take my queen on b4. Here everything was fine. She went f3, bishop d7, but it's such a weird position. It was so much to calculate. H5. I wanted, if the bishop goes to f2, to go to h6, and now he played. I don't know what he played. He played king g2. Yeah, nice move. Because sometimes if he goes knight a2, like the point of king g2 is, let's say he goes knight a2, I can sort of go like queen b6, and I have this diagonal. So the queen cannot really move with tempo. So I went rook a3, rook b2, knight a2, yeah, queen a5, rook b2. This is all I calculated. Queen with rook a8.
Yeah, you didn't go rook a8 somehow. You went
I
queen
went queen
a8.
a8. Ah, yes, sorry, queen a8. Yes, sorry. Queen a8. And then he went
But
b4.
rook a8
Yeah,
looked
knight
the
f.
most natural, yeah, to bring your rook.
Yeah, I was sort of struggling. I don't know. I was afraid of. So b4, queen a4, and then I didn't like knight c3.
Hmm.
And I didn't like this. I felt like queen c2, rook c2. And then I thought like he would. Maybe if I play knight a4, I don't know what I was. Then I thought like, I didn't like this. I don't know. Knight a6, I also didn't like. I wanted to keep the queens on the board so I could
Okay.
checkmate my opponent in a very rude way. So yeah, b4, knight b3, yeah, takes. Yeah, here I got a bit too ambitious with rook c8. I should just take on d5 and go rook c8. And if I go rook c8, he can't cd, rook c8, he can't play rook a1. Because I have knight c3. Very cute tactic.
Hmm.
So he should play rook c1, and it's equal or slightly worse, and I can just play. But I played rook c8, miscalculating everything. Because I underestimated like rook c8, cd, knight c3. For some reason, I just was just really, really bad. I don't know. I thought I could take on e4. Like cd, knight c3.
You mean here?
Yeah. I played rook c8, rook a1.
Yeah.
And then I played hg4, which is also stupid. And then when I missed hg4, cd, knight c3, like de4, knight takes c4, knight takes c4. I actually, like, as you can see, I was so tired that I couldn't calculate. I actually, like, once I saw it, I kind of realized I'm just dead lost. And that was like a cold shower, and I just couldn't calculate anything. It was very bad. So then I decided, okay, let me go d4, sack the knight. Yeah, sorry, queen a7 first to bring the bishop back, d4, and knight a4. And then, yeah, okay, I should play rook a8 here. It was a very stupid bishop h6. I wanted to go rook a8. Then I forced the bishop to, okay, I said the bishop h6. If I play rook a8 first,
Yeah.
then he should probably play bishop d1. And then now I play bishop h6. And if rook a2, I can take on d2. So this was also another ridiculous blunder by me. So then I really had to go into swindle mode. Thankfully, his time was getting quite low. So I go bishop h6. He goes rook a2. I start to have this oh no moment. I realize, okay, let's go king g7. Time to attack. Time to go.
So the
And
point was, if we take here, there is knight
yeah,
c5.
knight c5. Yeah. It's just terrible. I thought like knight c3, queen
Here.
b8. Yeah. I first thought knight c3, queen b8, rook d2, dc3, queen c3, and then like bishop b6. I thought it shouldn't be that bad. But then I saw knight c5 and I had a heart attack. And then I realized, okay, yeah, it's time to go for the swindle and flag this guy. Okay, so I went king g7, preparing my dream attack, knight c5, queen b6, take. And here, okay, it was just if he plays c5, he'll probably win. But after queen a3, I had a feeling I would win the game
Really?
because
But
c5,
you are
yeah,
right now just having one pawn for a piece.
yes. But okay, after queen d8, I know I'll win because he has no time and I have super easy play and all my pieces are coming. I knew I would win because he has no time. And the also problem with him having no time is that he's looking really calm. And that's very bad because once he realizes it sets in that he's losing, he's going to completely panic. And that's exactly what happened. So he went to queen a5, another very bad move, or bishop g3, okay, knight f8. Then he went queen a5, which was terrible, or c5 first, knight e6, and then he went queen a5 or something. Yeah, it's a terrible move. Okay, inviting my queen in. Now queen f6, rook h8. This is like so scary. Then, okay, I had one trick. Okay, this was very stupid. I should have played n4. I should have used my time and thought. But in typical fashion, I played bishop f4. And
No,
what I blundered.
the point here is that after king f2,
yeah,
take.
there's takes, yes. And I didn't see like,
But
yeah,
it's
rook
not
e2.
even
You have to go.
clear that how you are winning.
Yeah, it's not easy. Yeah. I have to play like bishop f4 here, I think, or
Yeah.
d3, bishop f4. But it wasn't easy at all. Bishop f4, yeah, and I'm probably doing well. But yeah, so essentially, I didn't want to think. I just played bishop f4.
This
And what he has
is
to find here
crazy. This
is
position in itself is not
yeah,
so easy to understand.
yeah,
Like even when we analyze this, that this is
yeah.
better for black. You piece
Yes,
down.
it's crazy. But he's already panicking. That's the whole point. So he's completely panicking. And once the thing is in chess, once you realize it's difficult, it's just impossible to proceed. So bishop f4, he panicked. If he plays c takes d6, I basically have to resign. C takes d6, rook h8. He has queen takes e5, which is just insane. It's really, really hard to find. Really hard. It's the only move.
Nice. This is a nice one.
But bishop f2, I'm a lucky guy. Then I go rook h8. I have the momentum. He has no time. Knight takes d6. Bishop e3, game over. So I feel like Arjun swindling everyone.
And if he goes here, you just move in, and on the dark squares, it's
check.
all over.
Yes.
So he went bishop
Game over.
check,
Yeah, but check,
and he resigned.
And I'll show a very cute mate after king g1.
Yeah.
Queen h4, bishop e3, fe3, d3. He has to play bishop g2. Now I play. If it was a live stream, we'd ask the chat, But here we can play queen e1, bishop f1, queen f1, king f1, rook h1.
Oh, beautiful.
This is what I was going to play.
Wow.
It's very, very nice mate. So yeah, this was a nice way to finish. To get 2700. The thing is that after a game like this, in a tournament like that, I'm just in a good mood for so long. But whenever I have bad tournaments, it ruins my mood for like weeks. So this is the best part about winning for me. It's not the game, not the rating, but that I'm in a good mood until my next tournament.
Which is now?
So it'll be this Vidit match. And then after Vidit, I'll have about 3 weeks until the Turkish League. And then after the Turkish League, I'll go play this tournament in Kazakhstan, the World Rapid in Teams. Then right after the tournament in Kazakhstan, I intend to have the match in Amsterdam. Right after the match in Amsterdam, I intend to have the match in London. And then after the match in London, I intend to have a match in Paris. And then after Paris, I intend on going to Sharjah.
So it's all in
and then,
all of this.
Yes. And then hopefully, and then I'll be resting in September. Also the Olympia, I'll be resting, preparing for this $1 million tournament. And then hopefully I'll be invited to the Global Chess League. And then after the Global Chess League, there's the US Championship. And after the US Championship, there's about 3 weeks until this $1 million event. So it'll be a great schedule. And then, of course, after the $1 million event, I'll try to organize more matches. And then to play the World Rapid and Blitz.
Yes. You'll
the next
play
World
that
Rapid,
World Rapid
yes.
and
No,
Blitz.
of course, I will not miss this tournament. I would never miss such a tournament. So to be a great schedule. Hopefully, I can make big strides. And every tournament I go, I'll be wearing a huge logo of my website to support all these matches and stuff. So uh, I'm looking forward, and I also try to document all this on YouTube and stuff. So it'll be fun year.
It's going to be very exciting. The way you've built up several things, and everyone's going to look forward to 2024 for you. Any rating aim you have till the end of the year?
I, I don't know. I think that if I'm able to organize these four matches, I'll have the US Championship and the Turkish League quite strong. I think around 2740 is a reasonable goal.
That would bring you to almost top 15 in the world.
Yes, I think that if I have so let's say 24 games in these matches, another 12 or 13 in Turkish League, another 11 in US Championship, and then maybe some tournament will come up. So I think it's plenty of games against all very strong opponents. So I think it's a reasonable goal to gain about 30 to 40 points, hopefully.
Well, Hans, all the best to you. We'll be watching
Yes.
firstly this match with Vidit. Will be very exciting for everyone here in India as well. And good luck to you and for all the months ahead. And a huge congratulations for reaching 2700.
Thank you, thank you. My goal is just to give you guys more content. I'm supporting the ChessBase India content machine because you guys need tournaments and things to watch. So I'm sure you guys are really the best in terms of, I think, for serious chess content. You guys really are the only ones doing it and really documenting everything. Like I see you interview everyone and you have this whole team. So I think you guys are doing a great job of highlighting the professional side of chess. Like you won't believe how many videos of yours I watch. Like I really, even you interviewed this even this like 2150 girl, and it was an interesting title, so I watched it, and it was a very interesting interview. Like I like seeing these like people from very humble backgrounds doing so well in chess. Even it's inspiring for me to see. So I will I'm looking forward to your future content.
Thank you, Hans, and see you soon. And look forward to your events as well.
Yes, yes, thank you. Okay, see you.